evening viewers and welcome to the Art World. Today our guest is Jamal Shah Saab. He doesn't need any introduction. He is a sculptor, painter. He has also worked as an actor, writer and director in TV plays and films. He has also remained Director General of Pakistan National Council of the Arts and also served as caretaker Federal Minister for Culture and Heritage. Welcome to our show, Jamal Shah Saab.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for sparing time for us.
Well, pleasure.
Well, you might have been asked this question many times, that you have worked in films, in TV, you have written the plays, you have directed, and you have your work in painting is also very distinguished in Pakistan. So, I would ask it differently. How would you like to identify yourself amongst all these art forms?
Well, Shah, I think I'm more of a drifter, interested in trying to understand things. My favorite author, Erich Fromm, said that man is born with a seemingly insurmountable aloneness. And he or she spends his entire life trying to combat this aloneness and become one with the whole. Perhaps that's the reason why one becomes a seeker, and when you try and become intimately engaged with life, the intimate engagement gifts you with awareness, with understanding, and you become aware of your surroundings and the purpose in life. And as you become aware of your surroundings, you get to know that you are part of a continuity. You are born on a land which has a heritage which is at least 9,500 years. So you become a bit, confident because of being part of that heritage. And you're also aware of your heroes and zeros, your potential, the challenges, etc., etc. So whatever understanding of awareness you get from life, you are bound to reflect upon it. You start communicating with your surroundings, with your fellow beings, with yourself. And I think art and so many other disciplines being invented, not only invented but also mastered by yourself, gives you a reason to express yourself in trying to understand whether you were right or wrong. And that's how you become part of the whole. And as I said, I'm a seeker. I'm trying to understand the intricacies of life, the dichotomies in our society and human struggle, etc., etc. And I have to express myself. I think just being a painter or specialist in one field is not enough. In fact, I don't believe in specialization. The main thing is to express yourself, to communicate and try and understand what there is and what is your role. How can you be a productive contributor in the society? So in trying to do so, I often paint and sculpt, and whenever needed, I write and act, or I've tried all avenues. So I don't know how to slot myself. That's why I think I'm a drifter.
You did your master's first, perhaps in English, and
yes.
Then after some years, I guess, you moved to National College of Arts, and then you went to London for your master's in fine arts.
Yes.
Slade
Slade School of Art.
Yeah.
Yes.
So would you just tell us your art journey? How did you discover that your interest and passion for art?
I think I was born with this facility to draw. As a very young child, I used to draw, and my drawings were not ordinary scribblings. I was able to, I'm told that I could, draw resemblances very easily. So I became popular as a child, and my family gave me the understanding that you are an artist, and I started believing in it. When I did my matric, by then I had become like a prodigy, and everybody knew me. My teachers suggested that after matric you should go to National College of Arts. When I discussed the idea with my parents, my father stopped me. He said, "No, you can't become an artist. It's a risky route. You should become."
Most of the parents say it.
My father was an educated person. He was in police.
Yeah.
But his own elder brother was an artist whose life was not very stable. So perhaps that's why he stopped me, and he suggested that I should become a doctor. I tried, but I kept asking myself the question whether I have this Mother Teresa in me. The answer was no. So I actually lied to my parents. When I did my FSC, I had enough marks in 3rd division to get into Bolan Medical College, but I told them that my name is not in the merit list, so I cannot. And I had to do BSc in geology and chemistry, and then I switched to English literature. That was closer. I enjoyed English literature, and eventually my father had to let me go to NCA, join NCA, because in Bhutto's time, Balochistan had received about 12 posts of DSP, Deputy Superintendent of Police, and they were recruiting, people. My friends, the friends my friends from peer group, from very young age, all of us decided to apply, and they thought that I'll be the first to, get accepted because of my father.
Yeah.
When I suggested to my father, I discussed it. He said, "Why do you want to join police?" I said, "I have to do something." He said, "No, why police?" Then he asked me to sit with him, and he told me that he has spent 30 years in this department, and he hates each and every day of that service. So he told me to go to NCA instead of becoming a police officer. And he was at a position that, his phone call would have given me that post. So that's how I went to NCA after my English literature, MA in English literature.
How was the NCA experience at that time? I have been visiting and I found it a wonderful place.
NCA was a great place. That was a place which I thought was ideal for me, because NCA was full of dialogue, student dialogue and student-teacher dialogue, and the times were also turbulent times, and politics were the norm. Everybody had to be politically aware. So the good thing was that in Lahore I became friends with some very, very fine human beings, and it was because of them that I attained more clarity about art and about life and politics. So NCA was very positive for me.
It was quite a vibrant place.
Very vibrant, very, very
a lot
vibrant.
of discourse on ideas and
absolutely. You
different
had these
experiments.
great people like Safdar Mir, Najam Hussain Sayyed,
Yeah.
and so many others, great people.
Yeah.
and we were able to meet with them and talk to them. We would invite them to give us talks, and that's why we were not fully satisfied with the teachers in NCA, and we had to seek knowledge elsewhere. That's why we would invite people, because when we were in second years, we were given the task of teaching the seminar class, taking the seminar class of the first year. That became a very good source for us, a platform, and we started inviting people, and these very, very wise people, very clear people, gave us a lot of clarity.
And what was the difference when you were in London in Slade School of Arts and Literature in terms of teaching, giving new ideas to the students, unleashing their imagination, experimenting with new techniques?
Well, Slade is supposed to be the leading art institute in the world, and it was. Because when I went to the Slade, I witnessed a very, very unmatched seriousness. We had great teachers, people who were written about in books. They used to teach us, and there was a great interaction with very, very capable people, very talented people. I met a great actor, Vanessa Redgrave, who's an Oscar winner actress, who was a very active human being. She was known for her struggle, her contributions towards the Palestinian cause, and so many other people. I witnessed the best of theatre there, the best of musical concerts and film festivals, saw great movies there, and our own Slade was a very active art school. I think the most important thing I learned from there was to be serious about my trade.
Don't you think we need more institutions like that in Pakistan? And
absolutely.
Given that our society is generally not very friendly with arts and culture.
We are at a great loss, because when Pakistan came into being, a new narrative was introduced at the expense of the very, very enviable cultural heritage.
Yes.
So the accent was that the heritage that you had is not important anymore. You have to be comfortable with this new identity. And that identity, as I said, was at the expense of a beautiful heritage. From Mehergarh to Gandhara and Hadappa, Texla, etc., etc. Besides that, the living culture, the folklore, Pakistan is, I think, one of the most beautiful countries, because it is blessed with amazing diversity. There are so many languages, so many people, and the land is rich in natural resources also. But above that, the cultural tapestry of Pakistan is very, very rich. So you cannot ignore that. The sad part is that it was ignored. It was never nurtured. It was never invested into. You're right. I think we should have more colleges, many more colleges like National College of Arts, and a very robust cultural infrastructure, because culture or heritage or art is a vehicle that engages, helps people engage with life intimately. And this intimacy is on the one hand creative, on the other hand critical. So when you embark upon a journey of intimacy that is creative and critical, and get aware, you become an informed individual, and you start being part of informed decision making.
Yeah.
If you stop the cultural heritage, you deny people of their strength.
Yeah.
And when you you become vulnerable, anything can, just destroy you.
Yeah.
That's why governments repeatedly have been scared of the onslaught from India, the cultural onslaught. Instead of becoming, culturally aware and culturally strong and culturally rich yourself, you opted to be scared of it.
Yeah.
Which is why there's no cultural infrastructure in the country.
Yeah. So that was the motivation or your viewpoint that you created an art department in Quetta University first?
When I
to have more
graduated
institutions.
from NCA, my intention was to establish a department in Department of Fine Arts in Baluchistan University. And then we see Agha Akbar Shah was very supportive. I met him and suggested that university should have a department, he should give me a proposal. And I had not done my thesis then. He said, okay, do your thesis and send me your proposal. When I did my thesis and came back to Quetta, everything was ready. And we started the department immediately in 1984. And that department is a very good institution now. Quetta has 3 very good departments in different universities now.
Great. So it must have added value to cultural environment in the city.
Well, it has contributed whatever these departments could do.
Okay. But you didn't stop there, then you established your own Hunar Kala.
When I was still the head of the Fine Arts Department in Baluchistan University, I got a scholarship, British Council scholarship for 2 years to study at the Slade. And the university authorities were not allowing me to go. They had put a condition. They said, if you want to go, you have to resign. So I had to resign and go there, although I was very serious about coming back. So I went there, and when I came back, they were not interested in,
having a more qualified person.
Yeah, so I had to start an institution on my own. Hunar Kada is the institution, ji.
Yeah, it has been 2 decades or more than 2 decades.
Hunar Kada was established in 1991 in Islamabad, and the intention was that we should introduce a pedagogy in art which is focused on art being a catalyst in bringing about positive change in society. So that was a focus, and my own personal stance was that this field doesn't need certificates. So I was actually trying to challenge the certificate syndrome, and I accepted students who were not interested in getting degrees. But then gradually the parents actually were insistent that they must have an affiliated degree so that they can get educated, get further education and jobs, etc., etc. But it has been a very good experience for me.
But I would hear more from you about what you have just said, that art as a catalyst to bring about change in society. I would like to hear from you to explain it further, given that change in society is a very subjective idea. Different people can think differently. It may be radical, it may be conservative. I mean, it is to make artists an instrument in the hands of those who want power. In their own ways, I mean.
Well, to me, art definitely is has this transformative power because it makes you aware of yourself. And when you become aware of yourself, as I said, you become informed decision maker and a very productive part of the society. But art can never be apolitical. Art informs you about everything and turns you into a balanced human being who's interested in achieving aesthetic existence. So aesthetic existence means that there should be equality, there should be beauty all over. Art should not serve the purpose of beautifying the walls of affluent people. It should actually help people to engage critically with life. It should be a dialogue, not a monologue. So that's what my understanding of art is, and I've ever since I've understood art, I've been trying to express my views in every possible way, whether it's through my sculpture or painting or theater or cinema or television plays or music. And I think on a minuscule level I must have put some dents somewhere.
Would you like to tell us something about that? The
No,
changes
the thing is that you are engaged in a dialogue with society, and the society has people who have minds. So if you engage them critically, and they also take an informed decision of contributing their best to society, so that's how change begins.
And then you turn to cinema as well,
Yeah.
as TV and cinema. And I remember you were first offered some role in television series in London.
First international project that I did, and it was a very good project. It won 11 international awards, and I was also, my name was also one of the nominees for the BAFTA, because the character I played was a protagonist from this part of the world, and traffic was a very relevant subject, because it was of the drug trail of heroin from this part of the world to Europe. And I had seen some of my very, very good friends becoming a victim to heroin in those days. It was very important for me to be part of this project. I'm proud of that project. But before that I had done TV.
Yeah.
In Kuwait I had done many serials and long plays. One of the very important serial that I did in Kuwait, which I wrote also, was Pale Shah.
Yeah, I have seen
Pale
that.
Shah was about freedom fighter who fought against the British. Of course, for the British he was a thief. So that was a play which was shot on beautiful locations in Kuwait and all around the Pashtun belt of Balochistan. It was a play which was also watched by Dr. Najib of Afghanistan, and he then somehow on Afghan television also, because it had relevance to their history also.
They translated it?
No.
Okay.
It was in Urdu. They must have translated it, I don't know. But the culture was Pashto,
Okay.
Pashtun culture. And he knew about Pakistan and was a very aware person. And later on they had planned to make a series or a film on Amanullah Khan, the first reformer king. And they wanted me and a Polish director to work on this project. But it never happened because he was, killed before that.
Yeah, that was a shocking incident actually.
Another important production was Tapish, which I did at Karachi. That was also political, and I played a student leader in that who was politically very active. That was a good project. And afterwards I did a film called K2.
K2, yeah.
K2 again.
That was also international production?
Yes, it was Hollywood.
Hollywood,
Yeah.
okay. And how was it received?
It was, I think the film was very verbose. I mean, the film was about K2 and, verticality, but there was too much dialogue in it. I don't think it did well there. It was never shown in Pakistan.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, and although cinemas were still there in Pakistan, big numbers, but somehow it didn't get to Pakistan.
You didn't think to continue your career in international
I was
film?
offered quite a few roles. Some of the roles were, of Muslims who are terrorists. I refused those. One film was offered to me which was written by Hanif Qureshi, and it was a beautiful script, very, very good script. The character was beautiful, but for me it was impossible to do that character because the character had graphic scenes, etc., etc. So I told the agent, my agent was Jean Diamond, who was a cousin of Neil Diamond. I said, I love the script, but I won't be able to do it. She said, why? I said, I come from a country and a region in my country, which is Balochistan and Quetta, and if I did this film, not only my family, but my entire clan will be scandalized, and I won't have any answers. So I cannot do that. I love the part, but this is my limitation. Many other parts were also offered to me. I accepted one role with Umar Sharif. By the way, when I did my first project, international project, everybody used to call me the next Umar Sharif because of my moustache. And so I was very happy that I'll act with Umar Sharif.
Did Umar Sharif know it?
No, because that film didn't happen because of the recession in the UK. So, offers keep coming, but I'm a bit choosy.
So you didn't work in any film in Pakistan?
I've done 3 films in Pakistan. Home and Jahan was, I had a guest appearance in that. There was another film called Hijrat. And my own film, Revenge of the Worthless.
This you have directed as well.
I've directed it, I wrote it, and it was about the siege of Swat by Taliban, based on true events, true stories. And I did that film. It was a risky film. We did it on locations, actual locations, and not an easy film at all. Yeah.
And how was its reception?
It was received okay, but it was not a commercial film, so I didn't really expect any huge returns from it.
You sent it to some festivals?
It was shown in China and in America, and it got it generated very good debate in the festival. So I'm planning another film. I did another film with China, a co-production, the first ever co-production of Pakistan and China. It's called Bathi Girl. Bathi Girl means dost ladki, or friend, girlfriend. It's an interesting story. It's about, it is set in a remote area in Pakistan where a Chinese project is going on. In the village, one of the villages, there's young girls who are interested in playing football. And in the next village, there's another football team of boys, young boys. And there's rivalry between these two villages. And blood feud is going on, which is very, very old. So the game of football becomes reason for resolving that dispute over there. And it was a Chinese person comes, a woman who's a former footballer who was injured and had to leave football. So she coaches the girls' team. And then the girls' team plays a match with the boys' team because they decide, the elders decide to resolve the age-old feud between them through the game of football. And that's how it's resolved. My next film, which is in the pipeline, is about Pakistan film industry. It's called Cut.
cut.
And this is also going to be produced in collaboration with China.
Most of people know your contribution to different art forms. But one thing is your singing. I have heard you on television way back. You singing very famous song Bara Bara. It's about rain. Why it is so that you have not? At least I don't know. You haven't given much time to your singing.
I really love music, and I think music is an art form that has a unique capability of fusing or combining form and content very, very easily, which is why music has greater appeal. I started television from Quetta in music, and I sang and composed, but somewhere in the middle, in the way I realized that I won't be able to, achieve the level which Mehdi Hassan or others have achieved, no matter what I do. So I left it. But music is something that you cannot ignore. So when I was in NCA, my harmonium was there, and some of my friends there, a friend, Tahir Yasub, would come there, and so many others, and we would sing. And Tahir was very, very knowledgeable about folk, folklore and folk music of especially Punjab and southern Punjab, etc., etc. So music was had continued on a very...
Sorry to interrupt you. Once Tahir was my friend as well, and when I asked him who were the 4 singers you like most, so one of them was your name amongst the 3.
That's his generosity.
Yeah.
So I thought music is too serious a game, and I won't be able to do it, so I had to leave it. But I couldn't quit it. So often whenever one is pressed musically, you start again. And I've been composing and recording these days.
Can I request you to sing a few lines of your...
Revenge of the Worthless had a theme song by a very good poet from Quetta, Abdullah Darwish Durrani. I sang that for my film. It says that I broke my sword in my brother's heart, and when the enemy came, I had nothing in my hands. It's in Pashto. I'll try to sing that. Ma khpal turakda davrur pazd ki mata khudaya. Ma khpal turakda davrur pazd ki mata khudaya. Chi dushman raaghi, chi dushman raaghi. Chi dushman raaghi zapad wala sasum pata khudaya. Ma khpal turakda. This is one of the compositions that I sang after a long time.
Okay. And just for my own nostalgia, if you could sing Baran Baran a little bit.
Baran vuriji gole dandi. Baran vuriji gole dandi. Kadam zama pa kadam zda raza mayana. Why baran baran, hi baran baran, why baran baran, yaranan khurasa pakhlasa, baran baran, why baran baran.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Now coming to your paintings, people say that you have in your paintings one can notice a great link with our tradition and local heritage. So tell us about your love for painting and the kind of work you have done so far.
My Painting particularly, my work is figurative.
Okay.
Naturally, I'm a sculptor, and I use figure as a vehicle to communicate my ideas. The work is contemporary and linked, of course, with the heritage, with the human struggle on this part of the world. It also has references from folklore or living culture or pop culture or the politics of the region. So, but it is not decorative at all. My work is, I think people would find it difficult to live with it. They won't be able to hang it on their walls. My recent work, if you have seen it, I paint murghas, roosters. And murghas are those murghas which symbolizes that particular punishment.
Which teachers used
school
to.
teachers used to make us murghas. So in my opinion, the entire nation have turned into murghas, and they don't have the will or capability to get up and change their fate and destiny. So that's the message. It has some, ironic aspects to these images, and it also at some level is full of humor, because these murghas think that they're simply because they're decorated, they're beautiful, they think that they're free, but which is not the case.
Yeah.
And these murghas also have a bandarwala, a monkey man, and monkeys. You can see the monkeys teasing the monkey man, and even murghas who are actually human being. So these, I believe, if you say whatever you want to say in a playful manner, that can go a long way. So that's why, my paintings, like life, includes humor, includes sorrows and happiness and struggles and everything.
Yeah, well, I can imagine murgha was quite popular punishment in schools in those days.
Very painful and very
humiliating. Yeah.
So the title of my recent exhibition is the celebration of a dehumanized existence.
Oh,
that's
fantastic.
Yeah.
So were you particularly inspired by certain art movements?
I would call myself a realist. And realist doesn't mean that the boundaries of realism should be limited to representing things or painting this cup as it is or whatever. It goes beyond appearance. It includes everything that life offers to you. So it's full of dichotomies, full of all sorts of moments, struggles and achievements and sorrows, nightmares and celebrations, everything.
You have served as Director General of PNCA, and later you have also served as Minister for Culture and Heritage. So what initiative did you take to promote art and culture in Pakistan, and particularly creating an enabling environment in which artists could imaginative freely experiment with new ideas? And
as DG PNCA, when I joined PNCA, it became a very dynamic place, because there were many programs which were very relevant. I started festivals, dance festivals, music festivals, theatre festivals, film festivals, and the national exhibition, which had not happened for the past 13 or 14 years, I restarted that. And there were many things. Being DGP and CA, I did a very important project called CPAC Cultural Karma. CPAC Cultural Karma, the idea was that 12 Chinese and 12 Pakistani artists should get together and start their journey from Xi'an, which is the oldest capital, which is the city of terracotta warriors. They start their journey and come all the way to Gwadar, stopping at very nodal points and different nodal points and interacting with local artists and artisans and creating transformative works. So that journey was a very, very unusual and interesting journey. And these artists traveled together, interacted with each other and with local artists in China and Pakistan. And a lot of new work was created, which was displayed and performed in PNCA in the form of a festival. Then we took that festival to Lahore and Karachi also, and to Xi'an. So that was a very significant project in my opinion, because I believe this region has great potential and Silk Road should be revisited. Of course, CPAC is the new Silk Road. It had political implications also and economic as well. So it was an activity which was multidimensional. It had visual arts, performing arts, dance, theatre, costumes, cuisine, everything. And CPAC Cultural Karma will happen again soon. I've been working on setting up the Silk Road Culture Center in Islamabad. It's a very big facility, totally private, not governmental at all. So I hope that we'll be able to contribute something and encourage engagement, cultural engagement among the countries which are relevant to Silk Road. As a minister, the most important thing that I did was to urge all the departments to collect children's stories and tongue twisters and rhymes, etc., from folk heritage in all languages, all Pakistani languages. And we organized a conference. There were 2 days conference, and we collected this material. The idea was to transform this material into beautiful videos and audios and maybe illustrated books, because in Pakistan, every child, whether the child is from an underprivileged background or middle class or privileged background, they know every single rhyme of English language, but they don't know anything about themselves. So the idea was they should get educated about their own cultural heritage so that their cultural identity becomes stronger and they're able to enter into a dialogue with the rest of the world.
You've just referred your Silk Road project, and I remember before that you have also kind of made an artist association in Quetta way back in your early career. I just want to compare these two initiatives. You have served in government positions as well, and as a civil society activist and non-governmental positions as well. Number one, what's the main difference while working in these two? And I also understand that it's a firm commitment on the part of government is required, political commitment to promote art and culture and remove barriers, including barriers on imagination and creativity and experimenting with new ideas. So your comments on that?
Well, I think I've found several governments, if not all of them, being a bit aloof, or maybe they just pretend to be aloof of the fact that art is a necessity. If they consider art a necessity for life, only then can they take positive or informed decisions about art and culture and heritage. I mean, every parliamentarian is aware of the rich cultural heritage that Pakistan has, but they've done nothing,
Mm-hmm.
or very little. I mean, barring maybe Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, who tried initially to establish institutions. Um, the sector, the art and culture, have remained neglected throughout the history of Pakistan. It's about time that they consider it a necessity and develop a good, a robust cultural infrastructure for the country, which has a very rich cultural heritage. I mean, they can showcase it anywhere, and they should. The sad part is that we have 250 million people, and there are only 150 or maybe less than 150 cinema houses in Pakistan. There was a time in the mid 70s that Pakistan had 1500 cinemas.
And population was much less.
Population was much less, and the country used to make 150, at some point 200 films also per year. I mean, making just one film, even if it's a small budget film, can enable or empower 100 families, at least 100 families, for 5 or 6 months. Imagine if they were making 200 films every year. There would be so much, economic activity.
Yeah.
And if the country had over 3,000 or 4,000 cinema houses, there would be a lot of activity. China has over 80,000 cinemas, and it is the biggest film market in the world. Why are they doing this? China is one country or one civilization where their indigenous culture narrative have never been broken. Continuity throughout, and Mao enhanced it further. In Pakistan, after every 15 or 10 years, your indigenous culture narrative is tarnished. And the last time was Taliban, when they were trying to, help the Afghan war. They had to dismantle the indigenous cultural narrative of the Pashtun belt, because the Americans or whoever were behind it, they knew that the culture or heritage is a strength. So they had to, deprive the people from that strength and turn them into vulnerable beings. So the government, of course, should play its role, because they are responsible for the country, for the people. Public exchequer pays for everything.
Yeah.
So public has a right to demand a good cultural infrastructure.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Jamal Shah Sahab, for being with us today. It was pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure.
I think it must be great for our viewers to listen your ideas and your work in your life. Thank you.
I hope I've
again.
made some sense.
It was pleasure.
Thank you.
So thank you, viewers, for watching us. See you next Sunday, same time.